So this is a piece of raw fish stuffed in salt. If you don't hear from us again, thank you for tuning in. You don't need to subscribe because we're dead.
I really don't think it's gonna taste good.
Oh man, I can smell that.
What if it just didn't fully dry, or if that's the bacteria that's going to kill us coming out?
It's like a freaking eel.
It's like a piece of rubber.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Survival Idiots, where the plan today is to try a bunch of food preservation and see what a bunch of people that have no idea what they're doing can do with food preservation. So we're going to be trying the most disgusting, weird things that we can think of.
It's still kind of wet. I don't want to eat this.
In this video, we're going to be doing things such as salting fish and drying it. We're also going to be salting an egg and drying that, as well as pickling. And the pickling that we're going to be doing is vinegar pickling. The piece that's going to make this interesting, other than the fact that we've never done it before in our lives, is the fact that we're using eggs in every dish. So let's start off with smoking meat. Now, for this process, it's pretty simple and relatively straightforward. There's 100 different recipes online that you can find. Now, for us, we're just going to basically make a very simple brine. It's going to be a handful of spices with some Worcestershire sauce. We're going to let that sit overnight. One of the really cool parts about smoking is you remove and add flavor, which is just honestly a big win.
We use cherry wood. This is going to be awesome. Or inedible, one of the two. But either way, it'll be preserved.
If it's too wet in the beginning, it's just not going to work.
Obviously, smoking meat's been around forever. Looking forward to munching on some of our jerky out of the smoker here. Yeah, that would definitely last.
Okay, you want...
Oh, we should have one.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I'm gonna eat this big piece.
I'll leave the small one for Alicia.
I will. You want that one? Okay, okay.
Jerky.
Testy.
Yeah, that thing's like chewing on a rock.
I wanted to get it to where it would last as long as possible and give you a jaw workout.
You do.
Sure.
Draw.
How's a vegetarian enjoying it? The pescatarian.
Pescatarian. Only eating pests.
Jerky's good. It's good.
Vegetable
It's got good
lady.
flavor. And of course, you can do so many things with it. But it's the longest thing I could think of for smoking that we could use. There's no 25-year shelf-stable smoked food that I can think of. What, did you expect me to turn it into what I'd call jerky?
Yeah.
Definitely is flexy.
It is flexible.
Does
And
taste good.
dried. Dehydrated for an additional 6 or 7 hours. It's still as squishy. I think that's about as good as it's going to get.
I know that they dry mushrooms, and then those are good forever.
Right. Yeah.
Well, but I'm not sure you could smoke it first. Apparently, but
Are you trying to say that that's not what I created here?
I don't think
think
that's
we
what you
failed.
created.
I would agree. And that was a lot of effort to try to get that thing.
Now we're on to pickling. We don't know if we need to hard boil the eggs before we pickle them, so we're gonna find out. Pickled eggs are super popular around the world, and that's the reason that we're gonna try them, because no one has. Shit, that went way farther than I thought. I just threw a piece of beet at him after he yelled at me for throwing beets on his counter and staining his counter red. He also fails at putting these in the jar. The process is super straightforward for pickling. You put stuff in either a vinegar brine or a saltwater brine. Now, a saltwater brine is technically fermenting, but it acts very, very similar, but the taste is very different. So we're throwing a bunch of different vegetables in a jar. It's cucumbers, grapes, beets, bell peppers, and then we're making the brine here. So the brine is basically water, vinegar, pickling seasoning, which we got at Sprouts for a surprisingly reasonable price, as well as dill. We're gonna mix that up. We're gonna try to add some pepper into this, and it's just not working. It's just not coming off the vine, as you can see there. And we're gonna hard boil our eggs. We're gonna peel those eggs. While that brine simmers, that's going to allow for everything not to just kind of cook when you throw it in there. So as you can see here, there's still a little bit of steam, but that's not bad. And the pickling solution in this is already turning red from those beets.
One of the staples that we had to do is we had to use eggs in every single one of these because that was the one thing that we saw a consistent product for.
So I know that you can can eggs in salt water. Instead, these are pickled.
It's in a vinegar brine. So it's, you know, your typical pickling
I really don't think it's going to taste good. But this is a popular bar food snack.
Yeah, people overseas eat this all the time. And that was one of the big things that we saw, is that everybody overseas is like, yeah, don't worry, you can eat that stuff. And then any information that you find from the United States is like, yeah, don't eat that, you'll die.
Somebody open it.
Oh,
Okay.
oh man, I can smell that.
It just smells like vinegar. And then there were a bunch of
Oh,
people.
they're dark?
It did darken up.
Yeah, it did darken up.
That's fascinating.
Let's see what that cross section looks like. Oh, it just looks like an egg.
It does.
Would appreciate that.
And
It's gonna.
cheers.
It actually doesn't smell bad. Cheers.
Oh, it's not terrible. I thought it was gonna be worse.
I would actually eat that.
So maybe the saltwater brine on the eggs?
It tastes like eggs. They say that this is shelf stable.
Yeah, for like a year. They'll leave them on the counters in bars for literally a year.
This is our pickled vegetables.
It's good.
That's actually
You know,
really
that's crunchy and good. That's really good.
Really? The bell pepper?
Yeah. What's the, is this about a year? How long would you be able to, if you sealed it in jars, be able to store this? Yeah.
If you canned it and sealed it, then obviously
But it's
much
shelf-stable
longer.
for 25 years.
Well, and plus the vinegar itself, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But once you open it, you reintroduce bacteria.
Right.
And then the process changes from pickling to fermenting.
Sometimes you can get some bacteria in there that
Very good.
you would not want. It's like a freaking eel.
Ready? Yep.
Oh
Hindsight,
my
we probably should've-
goodness.
What is that?
I think it's
It's
cute.
supposed to
cucumber?
be
You
a
wanna eat
cucumber.
that?
Yeah.
That's right.
That'd be a really fun way to make like,
Sorry.
I don't know, blood pickles.
Like for Halloween or something.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
So now on to the scariest one of all, salting. This one is honestly really terrifying and works basically off of using salt. So, raw fish and salt, I'm not entirely sure on how this is going to turn out, and this seems a little thick to be able to cure, but I actually have no idea, so I'm gonna cut half of this in half and we'll see. So the premise of this is you basically cover the fish in salt, an exorbitant amount of salt if I'm being honest with you, and then you leave it overnight or multiple weeks. Now there's two different types of salting. There is the Chinese style of salting, where you basically salt a fish and then the next day you put it up in the sun for about a week, and that's what actually dries the fish. The second way is a Scandinavian way to cure fish with salt. Now, what's different about the Scandinavian way is you still put an exorbitant amount of salt around the fish, but the difference is you pour off the excess water and brine, and you can actually do it for about 2 weeks to properly cure the fish. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to salt these eggs. Now, this blew up on TikTok, so we figured we might as well give it a try. The concept is you drop the egg in the salt, you leave it overnight, and then you continue the process and dry out the egg yolk in the oven. Now, this is really good in ramen and other things, but we're yet to try it, so we'll find out. I don't know how I feel about this. Just raw fish and raw eggs.
And salt.
And salt. I mean, it's like people have done this for thousands of years, so why should this be any different?
Okay,
So these are weird.
So, these got really popular in like TikTok and social media. So, salted egg yolks are
Okay.
used to add a little bit of umami to your dishes. So, usually these are grated on top of like pasta or stuff.
You totally take it out, the white yolks. Or
It's
the
like a piece
white.
of rubber.
Yeah,
It really is.
kinda
And
like-
just have the yolk itself.
Well, it cuts. I guess that's good. Oh,
Yeah,
great.
that's
you
a
quartered
lot.
it.
There you go.
All right. Here you go.
Why, thank you.
Here we go.
It's
And
gonna be real
Cheers.
salty. I can
Cheers.
tell.
Cheers.
No, that's actually really good. Oh,
It's
Are
okay.
you eating the same thing I ate?
it's salty, but it's
It
good.
is salty.
It is pure salt.
It's real salt. It's
I
real
could see
salt.
how you could shave that over some ramen and it would just be killer.
It tastes like the worst part of an egg yolk. I don't like egg yolks anyway, you can tell. Yeah, that's very true.
Okay, now the moment that we've been dreading. So, salting is what this was. Now, apparently, in China, people salt their fish. And that's one of the big ways that you preserve it. We did it a modified way. We did it 2 different ways. What they do is they literally just salt it, and then after 24 to 48 hours, they put it up in the sun. Sun dries it out, and then they add it back to broth, or they put it into dishes and cook it. But it's technically edible. So we now have 2 different
Debatable.
forms of salted fish. A Chinese knockoff version, because instead of drying it in the sun, we dried it in the oven. And we have a Scandinavian style, which is we dried it in the salt and left it in the salt.
A lot of salt.
A lot of salt.
A lot of salt. Oh.
But
Oh,
Yeah, part of me says don't eat that.
All of me says don't eat that.
so we'll start with the Chinese style knockoff version
By the way, you're supposed to soak this so that the salt comes out.
afterwards.
Not just like
Eat it like this.
eat it like this, but everybody was there. There were conflicting reviews on whether or not you could eat this.
well, we don't have to eat a lot, but we want to definitely taste.
I don't think I want to taste. That's a lot. I
Yeah.
want a real small piece.
Me too.
Like small.
We'll just
Oh,
cut
it doesn't
that.
look
Yeah.
good.
Now, I flagged that video in my app for emergency personnel so that they will know how to treat me.
Seriously? Can you do that? Oh.
Okay, I am going
you.
to rub some of the salt off.
Oh,
though.
you're gonna do a rub salt.
Smells.
It
It
smells
does
fishy.
smell kind of fishy.
It smells like a dead fish.
There.
I have
there,
come across
see,
stuff
look
like
at
this
there.
on the
I
shore
have it.
and
Here's my
kicked it back in the lake.
See?
I don't think so.
There. I did what I did. I just came off.
Oh, it doesn't smell good.
That
It's
is-
still kind of wet. I don't want to eat this. Oh my god, I can't believe you ate that. Part of me
Well-
says no, no, no.
I mean,
It
it's
is?
fish and salt. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, it gets worse over time.
Oh, it's so salty.
That's why I took a little tiny edge, and that's what.
With a salt block. That's
That was rough.
Okay,
I don't want to try the other one.
cracker.
I think
Cracker
we should try.
time.
I think we should. I mean, I think
Yeah.
this is pretty much shelf stable, and I would guess. I don't know.
And nothing about eating it was like, man, that's rotten.
No, I would eat it. If I was really hungry, I would eat this and probably be just happy as a little lard.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I might die
Happy.
from the salt, but
You would be running to water afterwards.
Well, true.
this
we'll
piece
have
was
fish
done
up
worse. I left it in the salt and then baked it, well, at 170 degrees for 5 or 6 hours. So you're gonna have to chisel it out of there.
Okay, here we go.
Chisel.
Just a big salt block now.
Oh,
Is it really?
It smells.
Let's take a smell of it.
Oh, it's not as salty.
It's actually like,
Oh, okay. Well, it breaks.
I think it's drier.
All right, break us off a piece.
And a small, please, piece.
So this is a piece of raw fish stuffed in salt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Raw fish stuffed in salt, and then
Perfect.
technically dry baked at 160, 170.
True.
I'd like to know I cried a little because this is a nice piece of mahi that looked delicious. That I was really looking
Okay.
forward to grilling.
Ooh, that is fishy.
This is nowhere near as fishy as the last one.
Well,
Actually,
here,
that smells
here,
fine.
Let's hear. Maybe it's
Ooh,
No,
that's,
that's damn good.
that's salty, but
That's
less
salty.
fishy.
Way less fishy.
That's how I do it in the
Yeah.
future.
I would do it like that.
Leave it in the salt,
less
then
fishy.
heat the salt to dry it.
But
Chisel it out of the salt
you
block.
gotta go through the salt. Okay.
No, that's good. I could eat that.
It's
not bad.
salty.
I could totally eat that too.
We probably will eat that.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll wait 24 hours if we die, but
Yeah. They're not-
We won't
don't.
know what it was. No,
don't.
it would be
Yeah,
that.
that's a good point.
It would be that.
All in all, this would make a good backpacking food.
If
Because
need be.
then
yeah.
you could just cook it in broth.
Oh, true.
oh yeah, that would totally just make a soup, like a nice miso soup
Yeah.
without the miso.
The bento flakes in your miso soup are made from a dried fish that look just like this.
Yeah.
Just like that.
And then they just shave it off.
Yeah, that's
So-
pretty much what I think he made.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what we made.
No, it is still a little wet.
It
I notice
is
it's
a
dripping.
little wet.
A little.
What if it just didn't fully dry, or if that's the bacteria
think
that's going to
about
kill
it.
us
That's
coming out?
All that salted.
If you don't hear from us again, thank you for tuning in. You don't need to subscribe because we're dead.
But if you
Like,
do
though,
hear
but do
from
like.
us again, Please subscribe.
Do you have any random things that we should try? Leave them in the comments. I'll see if I
Please
can
do.
twist these guys' arm into it, because I'll try it.
Yeah, that was.
But I'm not doing the Chinese egg chicken thing.
No,
the sensory eggs.
Ugh.
That's it.
No,
one.
no.
No,
The
I'm
one
with
with
the
the
chicken
actual
in it.
chicken.
Oh yeah, the duck eggs thing. Yeah, we got to give that a roll. Duck eggs. Oh yeah.